Hey, New Hope family, it's Pastor Matt with your devotional thought for today. In Matthew chapter 25, we see Jesus giving a teaching of the kingdom of heaven. And he uses parables to teach here, which he does in many other places as well. But the parable that I want to focus on right now is called the parable of the talents. Now, you may be familiar with this passage already, but it starts in verse 14. And basically, the setup is as follows. Jesus talks about that the kingdom of heaven is like this. And this being a wealthy man who has multiple servants in his kingdom. And he's about to go away for a long period of time. And so he entrusts different talents to each of these servants. He gives 5 talents to the first servant, 2 talents to the second servant, and 1 talent to the third servant. And each of these servants responds differently in their master's absence. The first 2 are actually doing the same thing. They go out, they trade, they invest, they work hard, and they basically double or multiply what their master had given to them. And so we see the master returns after some time, and he goes to settle accounts with his servants. And here's where I want to share a few verses out of this passage. Now, after a long time, the master of those servants came and settled accounts with them. And he who had received the 5 talents came forward, bringing 5 talents more, saying, Master, you delivered to me 5 talents. Here I have made 5 talents more. His master said to him, Well done, good and faithful servant. You have been faithful over a little. I will set you over much. Enter into the joy of your master. I was thinking about the idea of how all of us want to be world changers, right? There's very few people that want to accomplish nothing. We want our lives to matter. We want to make a difference in the world. And I think so often we get these grandiose ideas. Oh, the Lord's vision for me is that I would change the world. And that is true, but sometimes changing the world doesn't look like this big public spectacle for all to see. Sometimes it's just being obedient in the little things, being faithful to step into the things that the Lord has called us to each and every day. And as I've looked at this world, that's how I have felt the Lord impressing upon my heart to approach this new year. That each and every day, I would seek to be obedient, to step into the things that He's called me to this day, in this moment, that I would be faithful in the little things that He's entrusted me to. And then if He sees fit, He can entrust me with greater things as time goes on, as I grow and mature in Him. But rather than say, Lord, I want to change the world for you in all these big, major ways, Lord, let me be obedient to you now and have the impact on those around me that you want to use me to do. Let me be faithful to you in the little things that I too, as this man in this parable would experience, that I too might enter into the joy of my master, that I might experience your joy as I'm obedient in the small things. Then, Lord, you can position me wherever you want. But I know that it starts with being faithful in the little things, the daily disciplines that He's called me to pursue. And so, brother or sister, maybe you are in the same boat. You want to be used by the Lord this year, or not even just this year, but throughout our lives to change the world. Well, let us then be a people who look to the Lord to change our hearts in the little things. Let us be obedient in little and trust in Him that He'll grow us and mature us and ultimately use us to have an impact where He's caused us to be. And maybe that impact will be exponentially greater than what we could ever imagine. But it starts with faithfulness and obedience in the little things. So let us respond to the goodness of our Lord in faithfulness and watch how He works in our hearts each and every day.